Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. and today I'm reviewing Mother of Frankenstein from Arcane Wonders. Mother of Frankenstein is an escape room style deduction working together to solve a puzzle kind of game. This is a 1 to 6 player game, although I would say with most games of this style, I generally consider to be 6 players to be way too much. I'd probably recommend 1 or 2, with 3 being the upper player count. That's my personal recommendation. Do what you want with that. But as far as that, this is going to be a very short review. It's a short review because I'm going to try to tell you all my thoughts and opinions about the game, but I don't want to spoil the experience for you, so I'm going to be very vague and non-specific about so many factors as to just, this is mostly an opinion. That's what it is. It's not going to tell you how to play. It's not going to help you along the way. It's not going to really guide you and inform you as to the decisions you're making for the most part. It's just mostly my opinion of playing through Mother of Frankenstein. With that said, this is, like I said already, an escape room style game. The general idea is that you're going to have a sort of puzzle. You're going to have everything I do here is going to be incredibly spoiler free, to the point that nothing should be a surprise of any kind when you open the box. We'll go through it. But you're going to have these various, not really, this pamphlet here that gives you your instructions. This is the rule book. The rule book is this one page. How to start, how to go through the experience, and then we get a little bit of a biography of, the Shelley volumes, Mother of Frankenstein, this little letter. These are all just things you're going to open up. No spoilers whatsoever. Some background and some information, which, by the way, well, we'll save it for the opinions, but lots of background information going on here as far as, Mother of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, who she married, all these different kinds of conversations that, lots of historical drama and gossip going on in the background here. But the general idea is this is Mother of Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, writing something to her son to give him some sort of puzzles to unlock along the way. To that end, you're going to have a few components. Again, no spoilers here. I'm not going to show you anything that's in any way spoilery. We're going to have these rings over here. You're going to be punching these out as soon as you open the box. You're going to be trying to assemble these rings in some way, shape, or form. That should hopefully be evident because of how they click together, but what you do next is going to be up to you. You're going to be trying to assemble those rings. That's going to be one part of many of the puzzles. You're going to have the astronomy, the music, and the poetry books over here, and I'm specifically showing you fronts only here to avoid spoiling things as far as how the back works. But there's going to be a section. Let's see if we can cover it. There's going to be a section on the back over here where you're going to be filling things in where my hand is. Again, no surprises here. I just don't want to ruin it for you. But you're going to be filling that in, and there's going to be a key on the inside of these envelopes telling you if you filled them in correctly. I don't actually know what hint system they have. Many escape room games of this nature have some sort of hint system where you can go online and go through a process and figure out where you get stopped. I don't know if this game actually really has a hint system. I haven't utilized it, which is a pro, by the way. We'll talk about that. But I haven't felt the need to utilize the hint system. They do straight up have answers for you, so you can straight up get the answers, but I haven't really seen anything as far as hints. I don't know what they do or don't have. It may be listed. Tips. Let's see, tips. Dun dun dun. We strongly recommend it. There's a robust hint system on the website. You see? I could just read this. There's a robust hint system on the website that you can go ahead and check that out in case you get stuck. But past that, as far as the actual puzzles, let's go ahead and open up one of these so you can kind of get a sense. Again, I'm not going to show you anything here. I'm just going to give you a general quick sense of what you get over here. There's going to be no spoilers here. This is all the very first stuff you're doing in the puzzles. You're going to go ahead and open, what you got in here, and you're going to go through various different pages of different things you're going to have, different, various unfoldable stuff, various letters you can go through. Again, not really going to go through anything here as far as what's actually happening, but there's going to be letters and hints and pamphlets within each of these 3 themed puzzles. And they are themed. We have poetry, we have music, and we have astronomy. Now, having gone through these, this is an escape room game. The general idea is they're going to give you puzzles and things to go through in which you have to solve logical deductions with enough information present that you can figure out what you need to figure out, but the information is often either obfuscated or complicated or involves enough application of logic that it is a challenge to go through. This game time in the box is rated as a 4 to 6 hour experience. I think that's pretty dead on. I think that easily a single envelope here could easily take you 2 hours to go through, if not more, even if playing it as a 2 or 3 player experience. Which means I would say that 4 to 6 hours, if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably closer to 5 to 8. Although, if you're getting it faster than 4, just don't tell me so I don't feel bad. But the puzzles here, and this is what we're going to move to review, because it's hard to talk about this game without ruining the experience for you, and I certainly don't want to do that. But I will say a few things. First of all, this is part 1. This is volume 1 of a 3-part series. And yes, the third part is literally a 3D constructed puzzle. How? What? I don't know. I haven't played it yet. I have not played parts 2 and parts 3 yet. I will be going through them. I'll have opinions of those as I go through this. But what I will say is, this is a 3-part series. I don't know what's in the other parts. What I do know is the first part contains 3 envelopes, each of which is going to take you around 2 hours plus to go through. And then even once you're done with all those, there's things as well. You're not totally done. That's most of the puzzle, but not everything going on. And your goal is to go through applying logic, trying to extrapolate information, piece together things, and work your way through the experience from start to finish to try to get what you need. Now, I will say a few things as far as my opinion. This will move to the review. I've enjoyed my experience going through this. I have found that it hits a good middle ground of all the puzzles I've gone through have been challenging. They have been a process to go through. They start off, and the books work in different ways. Each of these envelopes works differently, but they start off, and you can approach them in any order you want, by the way, although there is a sequence to some of the letters going on here, because there's multiple things happening. There's puzzles, but there's also a bit of a history and transcripts and all these things of what's going on in Mary Shelley's life over here, and so to that end, there is a degree of historical knowledge being gained, with a healthy dose of, whatever creative license applied to the story over here, but it's fun to go through what's happening in the background, even as you use those letters to extrapolate information for the puzzles you need. So you could go through these in any order you want. There's a sequence to some of the letters and the history, but again, you could approach these. You can have multiple players opening these at once to go through them separately. I guess you could have a faster playtime if you're literally just having different players tackle different envelopes and not having everyone be involved in everything. That would certainly go faster. But overall, there's a good degree of background that keeps you invested in what's going on. Background that is enjoyable to kind of uncover and unfold a historical story of what's happening, completely regardless of the puzzle itself. I'll also say that the puzzles, like I started saying, are difficult enough for the most part that they are challenging and rewarding when you solve them, while not being so difficult that I haven't had to use the hint system yet. I've been able to brute force my way through just staring at something long enough, or taking a break. One of the things I like about the different envelopes is I've, started one envelope, finished the first puzzle and whatnot, finished the first exercise. Some of them, again, they're formatted differently how they're approached, but finished part of those puzzles or systems in the envelope, get stuck in something, and then just pull up the next envelope to be able to start working in that while I let my brain kind of settle on what's going on. Because these 3 operate independently, because you can approach them all separately, you can kind of tackle them as separate escape rooms that you're trying to deal with before you deal with the sum of its parts as it all comes together. And that does give you that benefit of having things rest. And so far, like I said already, I've not had to deal with the hint system. I've not had to get past anything. I've been able to solve the puzzles, check my work within the, just looking through the inner envelope over here. So just be careful when you look through this, you don't accidentally look at the walls of the inner envelope. But I've been able to check my work, see that I'm doing things correctly. And again, it's challenging. It is challenging, but yet not so challenging that I've felt frustrated with it. I will say there have been a few small hiccups where I was frustrated with the systems. My only real complaint against the series so far is that there have been times in the process, again, I apologize for I'm trying to guard my words to not spoil the experience for you. There have been times in the process where I was able to get to the right answer, but that I felt there were logical inconsistencies at play that frustrated with me with what the puzzle was. Again, I'm just being vague, but I would say certain rule sets I used to be able to logically deduce from point A to point B, I was still able to get to point B, but sometimes I was like, you're not fitting within your own rule set. So yes, I was able to get to the end destination, but I had to small nitpicks as far as puzzles that I didn't feel perfectly followed their own rule set as it goes. That's the closest I can be to talking about it without actually telling you what happened in the puzzles. But that's basically it. I like this series. It gives you a lot of gameplay. Again, 4 to 6 hours I think is on the low side. I think you're looking at 6 to 8 hours of puzzle solving experience. It does so at an incredibly affordable price point, meaning the $35, I think it's like a $35 game if I'm not mistaken. And I don't usually comment on price in my reviews, but I think in this genre, when you have so many escape room games out there, you have unlock and exit games with $10 to $15 for the experience, and then the reverse side, you have the Emerald Flame for like an $80 to $100 experience. You have different levels of what an escape room or puzzle experience can bring to the table. This is $35 for 6 to 8 hours in my opinion. I think the 4 to 6 is being optimistic. I think if you split up the envelopes and don't actually engage with everything, but if you're tackling this as a 1 or 2 person experience where everyone has their hands in every pot, I think this is a 6 to 8 hour experience, and I think it is an enjoyable 6 to 8 hour experience for that $35, which is a lot of unlocking and mysteries and puzzles and logic folded into this box for that price point. Overall, this has been a very enjoyable experience, at least based on Volume 1. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. There are a lot of great things about it. They are very specific in terms of the approach. The component quality is fine. I don't expect anything amazing. These are like little styrofoam pieces, and then the rest of it's paper. Overall, for me, this is a 4 out of 5. I apologize for the completely rambling nature of this review. It's very hard to review something without actually being able to tell you more about what it is. Ultimately, this is an escape room at a good price point for the amount of time you get out of it, and I've very much enjoyed my experience, and definitely recommend this one if you like any form of unlock, exit, the Emerald Flame, or any of those from that company, PostCurious and all that. If you like those games, I think this is an excellent game to take a look at. I also say that as somebody who, this cover, on a personal level, this cover would never sell me on the game. I would ignore this cover on the shelf. That's a personal bias as far as the things I look at. But this to me looks very historical and doesn't pull me in. But the puzzles here, as someone who's not the target audience for this cover, I definitely recommend the experience. As far as other game experiences, as far as other game recommendations, those two other things I mentioned already are the other end of the spectrum. If you want a relatively affordable price point on the genre, I highly recommend the Unlock or the Exit series. My personal preference is still the Unlock series, where I think for $15 you get a good, solid, hour-long escape room that you can then put together, package on, and give it to your friend to have them go through it. On that note, it's also worth mentioning that I believe you can go through these without altering or writing things down or messing up the components past obviously destroying the envelope to get into it. I've chosen to go ahead and write and mark things and do all that, but I think you could get away with that without too much work if you wanted to be able to pass this on to somebody else. I didn't, so as it stands, this is now used and done with. But anyways, so as far as the other price point, Unlock, exit games, I think Unlock for $15 will give you a good hour-long experience that will give you a good taste of whether you like the genre. And if you're ready to move to the next level, I think the Emerald Flame is still, to me, the best unlock or escape room style experience that I've experienced, at least so far. It is the most expensive of them, but it certainly is, I think it gives you the same game length as Mother Frankenstein, but feels like a more premium more premium various different kinds of puzzles experience, and this feels a little bit more one-dimensional as an approach. That's it. That is my very, very different review of Mother of Frankenstein from Arcane Wonders. This is Volume 1. Really enjoyed it. 4 out of 5. I will be talking about the others as I go through them. Don't know when that will be, but I really recommend this one. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you found this helpful, and as always, I hope you have a good one.